Oh, damn. It's crazy hot. All right, let me just check we're getting some audio. Looks like it. All right, so forgot the point of what we're talking about. So there is an alarm going off behind me. I hope it's not too loud, but today we're talking about this little camera. This is the Panasonic GF2, and I know you're probably wondering why I'm starting with such a, well, it's not shitty, but perception-wise, such a shitty camera. This is one of those things that a lot of people understand, but particularly people new to the industry don't get. You don't need a cinema camera to get cinematic results. A cinema camera is designed to minimize risk. So if I use this, oh, there's quite a bit of risk in this. There's a lot of technical things as well that just aren't up to scratch, but if I light properly using, you know, an Alexa Mini, just anything, or using this, they'll both look good. Naturally, RAW gets graded better than 80 meg per second. So, look, there are differences, but while I might recommend getting this because this is what I use, I'd recommend getting any small interchangeable lens camera that you can just put in your bag and you've got a safety backup. Because on a big budgets thing, if you're an idiot and you don't charge the batteries, or you don't have the charger, or camera breaks, then well, there are some options. Either you can waste a couple of million by calling it a day, or you can go to the rental house or just go to the shops, buy a new battery, charger, whatever you need to do. And that's a hell of a lot cheaper than calling the day quits. On the low budget stuff, which is where I think a lot of us are going to fall for a while. Oh, bike's coming. Things are a bit different because if your camera breaks, well, you're done. You might be able to scratch up another camera somewhere, but something like this has really saved me. You know, the SD card gets full, your backups get full, your backup doesn't work. That's happened. There are a lot of reasons why having a backup camera, even if it's not fantastic, is really going to save your ass. So this is mine. And things I'd look out for if you're going to get one: interchangeable lens, micro four thirds should be the best. Decent bit rate. That's a tricky one. So I still use the Mavic Mini as my drone, which is, it's all right. For professional things, it's just good enough, I think. That's 28 megasecond, and that's not great. And so I'd say, look for something that shoots a really high bit rate, if you can. Don't worry about the color information so much. 8-bit, forget what YouTubers say. 8-bit is way better than what people lead you to believe. So, particularly if it's Panasonic 8-bit, I don't know what magic they've done with this codec, but damn, it's incredible. So, let's have a bit of a closer look at a bit of this in use. Right now, I'm on a bike track. I'm going to do a bit of blading. I don't know if I'm allowed to here, so I might get told to stop. And that alarm is still going. All right. So, microphone just died. Brand new microphone. All right, so my brand new Lark M1 microphone just died. So, we are using pancake lens.
You drew the line when I myself was unable. I have your sweat and tears to thank for growing to be the staple. This one is just for you. You were there in love.
Next is this 14 to 140. It's an alright lens, this. Alright, there you go. I don't even know if I'm in focus again. It's too hot to really care. I can't see the screen with this glare. There's no bell going, which helps. So that was just a few shots from that, but I'll show you in post. But then, like I said with the mini video, I'll put something together. Nothing special, just something that gives a bit of a showcase on. If you really want to mix this stuff with the big boys, then you can. Okay, so I just got back home, and this is my very messy editing bay, and I'm looking at the footage here, and it made me think about something. So here is the camera right here, which is great. Okay, and it was advertised and sold as this compact camera, which of course it is. It's really, really small, and you can literally put this in your pocket. The cap on here, the cap lens, is really good for what it is. But you don't have to use things like this the way that they were advertised to you if you put your mind to it. So while this lens is really what it was made for, nothing is stopping you from putting on those FDs, the same lenses that I put on the Blackmagic, which is fine. And nothing's stopping you from putting on one of these cinema lenses. And it looks really funny, but the quality is there that this lens really, really helps. So the stuff you just saw before was filmed on the pancake lens and on the 14 to 140. They're both micro four thirds lenses. They're the only ones I have. But the short film that I did using this thing here was using the FDs. And that's really the point of why I have cameras like this, particularly micro four thirds. I don't have that much money. The budgets that I work with don't have that much money. If we can get a 35mm lens and have it work for 2 focal lengths by using a speed booster or focal reducer, we've got 2 lenses, and we've done it at, you know, half the price basically, and the quality is there. So again, I am rambling. That's the whole point of these videos. I just ramble about stuff. But keep in mind that these things are really, really helpful. They really, really work. I'm getting flickering from this. Yeah, brilliant. So again, here's another point. This is my color correction monitor. It is really accurate. Cost me 3,000 yen. Brilliant little monitor. Love it. Anyway, back to these sort of things. We're talking about this camera right now, and this camera shouldn't be as good as it is. It's the same as the G7 I'm filming this with now, which we will talk about next week, I think, whenever. But these cameras are worth not much. I picked this up for the same price as this monitor. It was 3,000 yen. Just incredible value. It's not perfect. I wouldn't use this as my main camera. But if you've got no money, it's so good. It's really annoying in a lot of places. The menu is just a nightmare. Trying to get to turn the autofocus off and have exposure lock. It's a nightmare. I hate it. But it works. You saw it working. It's really good when you get it running. See, the G7 that we're running on now has less of these issues. It has its issues. Like any camera has its issues. But yeah, I can't speak highly enough of these types of cameras when they're that cheap and when you can have that much flexibility with them. So, not necessarily the GF2, GF3, 4, whatever you want, GF1. But seriously, if you get an EF mount lens, what can you put on that EF? Think about that, because you can't put your FDs on an EF mount. If you get the EFS mount, you're kind of fucked. So the RF mount, you're fucked. So think about this sort of thing. When you get the Micro Four Thirds, your sensor size is just perfect for filmmaking. It's basically Super 35, and using focal reducers, it's bigger than Super 35. So the look of these cameras is a Super 35 look. It's great stuff. Okay, again, I am rambling, I'm gushing about these cameras, but I really do recommend them. So, coming from this now, I think what I'm going to do after this is we're going to go back into my editing, and I'm going to finish this off, and I'll put the short little movie that I made using this camera here. Not a great film, never going to be great, but it's a visual showcase that you can make something really, really nice with not much. So I hope you enjoy it. I'll put it up after this one, and yeah, I mean, check out these little cameras. Alright, see you later.